Iori Yagami isn't just KOF's resident bad boy, he's one of the most unhinged, unpredictable and downright terrifying characters SNK has ever created. Whether he's tearing through opponents, losing himself to the Riot of the Blood, or delivering some of the coldest lines in the series, Iori has given us countless moments that are brutal, shocking, and just plain iconic. In today's video, we're counting down the top 10 times Iori Yagami was an absolute savage in the King of Fighters series. Kicking off this list is one of Iori's most unhinged moments ever. At the end of KOF 11, Iori suddenly succumbs to the Riot of the Blood. Without any warning, viciously attacks Kyo and Shingo, going straight for the kill. He overwhelms both of them and is just about to finish Kyo off when Ash ambushes him from behind, attacking him and stealing his sacred treasure. The assault is so brutal that Kyo ends up hospitalized, and Shingo is injured so badly he's forced to miss KOF 13 and 14 entirely. A moment that perfectly shows how deadly Iori becomes when the Riot takes over. Up next is a moment that isn't tied to a single game, but to Iori's entire legacy. Throughout the KOF series, Iori's win pose is punctuated by his iconic unhinged laugh, a chilling, borderline maniacal scream that perfectly captures his sadistic joy in overwhelming his opponents. It's not just a celebration, it's a threat, a warning, and the character's statement all at once, instantly letting you know he enjoys every second of the chaos he creates. This signature laugh becomes so recognizable that it helped cement Iori as one of the most intimidated figures in the franchise, proving that sometimes a simple win pose can be just as savage as any fight. For this entry, we jump to KOF 15 and one of Iori's most terrifying displays of power, his Climax super. Iori charges at his opponent in a blood rage frenzy, grabs them with one hand and violently slams them into the ground in a circular motion as the Yagami clan symbol ignites above him. He then unleashes a massive pillar of purple flames while screaming, and for a split second, you can hear Orochi's voice overlapping with his, revealing that Iori is willingly letting the Orochi curse take over just long enough to amplify the attack. This moment shows that Iori is starting to learn to control and strategically use the very power that once destroyed everything around him, and the fact that he is becoming comfortable with that level of darkness is honestly terrifying. This next moment is surprisingly unique for Iori, because despite being violent and unhinged, he almost never goes out of his way to start trouble. He usually minds his own business, unless someone gets in his way, and then all hell is let loose. But in KOF 13, during his pre-battle dialogue with Mai, he just snaps. Without any build-up, Iori straight up lashes out at her, telling her to get out of his sight and that just looking at her makes him sick. I don't know what Mai did to deserve this level of hostility, but Iori is clearly fed up and can't stand her presence at all. The roast is so sudden and so harsh that it's actually hilarious, and Mai's cold comeback only pushes Iori to roast her for real afterwards. Coming up next is a moment that kicked off one of Iori's most underrated rivalries in the series. Before KOF 97 even began, Iori straight up stole the CYS stage, the concert venue that Yashiro, Shermie and Chris were supposed to use for their band's big performance. Iori basically claimed it for himself and his band, without asking, without explaining, and without caring, which instantly infuriated Yashiro. This move is what sparked the entire grudge between the two, with Yashiro vowing to make him pay for the disrespect, and this was even before the reveal of the CYS true identity. Iori's amazing talent for making enemies is simply unmatched. Next is one of the biggest WTF moments in the entire series. At the end of KOF 96, we get the first clear and horrifying display of just how deadly the Riot of the Blood really is, when Iori snaps and murders Vice and Mature right in the ending cutscene. No ambiguity, we actually see him tearing into them in a violent frenzy. This shocking scene instantly became one of the most memorable and talked about moments in KOF history, cementing Orochi Iori as not just unstable, but genuinely lethal. Up next is a darkly funny but genuinely savage moment from the end of KOF 14. After everything that happened, Iori casually threatens to finish Vice and Mature. Again. The wild part is that they're already dead spirits at this point, and he still doesn't hesitate to tell them he'll finish them off if they get in his way. He never goes through with it since they back off, but the message is clear. Iori has absolutely zero remorse for terminating them the first time, and he wouldn't blink before doing it a second time. It's a cold reminder of how little he cares about the line between ally and enemy when his fury takes over. And now it's time to talk about the special intro between Iori and Orochi in KOF 98 Ultimate Match. It may not be canon, but it's such a badass moment, it deserves a spot. As soon as the fight starts, Iori's sprite shakes violently, on the verge of snapping into the Riot of the Blood, just like the first time Genis triggered this back in KOF 96 when Iori eliminated Vice and Mature. But this time, instead of losing control, Iori forces himself to suppress the fury with sheer willpower. It's a powerful little scene that shows how much stronger Iori has become, and how he's starting to learn to resist the very rage that once consumed him. Next is Iori's sheer determination in KOF 13, entering the tournament even after losing his flames. Instead of backing down like Shizuri did when she lost her sacred treasure, Iori completely reinvented his fighting style, relying purely on raw instincts, wide slashes, and pure murderous intent. No fire, no special power, just ferocity. In a way, losing his flames didn't weaken him at all, it actually made him even more unhinged, proving that Iori doesn't need supernatural abilities to be terrifying. And finally, we reach the moment everyone knew would take the top spot, the Sacred Treasures team ending in KOF 97. Here, Iori does the impossible. Not only he resists the influence of Orochi, the big boss himself, he also takes advantage of the moment and launches a surprise attack. In full Riot of the Blood, he grabs and immobilizes Orochi, holding him in place purely through feral rage and strength, giving Kyo the precious seconds he needs to charge up his power and land the legendary finishing blow. It's not just Iori's most savage and badass moment, it's one of the most iconic and unforgettable scenes in the entire KOF franchise. Which of these savage moments is your favorite? Or do you have your own Iori moment that I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to read your answers. A huge thanks to my patrons for their support. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching.